Countdown clock on the overlay. Chat scrolling fast, can't read a thing. Got my day ones, got some new names. All riding in on this pixel wave. Scene switch quick, that raid just hit. Hype train glow with the stickers lit. I say, yo, fam, this our year. You spam those emotes, fill the screen in hell. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every fall like a firework blow. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud, we're here, we're here. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the lunch walk to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're loud, we're here, we're home. Take that shot when the timer drops. Hit go live and the beat just pops. Got bad jokes and my best friends, turning quiet nights into wild weekends. Pull up chairs in a digital room, turn that late night scroll to a full-on boom. I say 3, 2, 1, let's ride. You flood the screen, all caps in the sky. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every follow like a firework blow. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud, we're here, we're home. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the lunch walk to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're here, we're home. Type it out, let me see those hands in the chat all across the lands. From the small screens glow to the massive dreams, we're building this brick by brick as a team. New year, same crew, new place to own. New clips, new bits, new inside jokes. Turn it up till the neighbors know. Steve's very own, let the whole world know. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every follow like a firework blown. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud, we're here, we're home. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the lunch walk to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're here, we're home. 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 Click on the stream, light the spark.
This is none of your affair.
Steve's
Because she is your
very
boss,
own,
and she is a
tearing
woman.
through the
She is
dark.
a strong,
My
soft,
fingers
thoughtful,
on the keys.
sexy
Old school
woman.
rhythm bend in the breeze. Building his world one clip at a time. Pixel by pixel, climbing the climb. No map, no guide, just the screen's glow. Steve very own and the show. Hey chat, you there? Hey chat, who cares? Steve's very own. Breaking the code. He's got the fire. Riding the load. Steve's very own. The crowd's his home. Streaming his soul into the unknown.
This is an important day. Big day.
Gamepad shaking, voice alive. Every moment's fight or survive. Boomers laugh, cuts through the air. Trolls and fans, they're all out there. Pixels crackle as the scenes collide. He's got the heart to stem the tide. The grind, the rise, the late night tunes. Steve's anthem under the moon. Steve's very own.
best boss. They go, God, we've never worked in a place like this before. You're hilarious. And you get the best out of us. I think that pretty much sums it up.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from. Welcome to the stream. I hope all are doing well on this sunny yet cool. Well, think we're due. What is the temp? What is the temp? Where's my thing? We're at 67 today. And we're going to drop down Friday. We had a couple of days of in the 60s. And I hope all is doing well. It's been a kind of a rough week for our family. That's not to, like I announced it in that, but we did have a death in the family that's affected all of us. And so I didn't stream yesterday. I just didn't have the mind to do it. And I definitely won't be streaming tomorrow. No Thursday Without Borders. I may get on again tonight to play a little bit of some geoguessing. But the wake and all that's this week. So if I'm a little out of it, I apologize. I just want to do something and clear my mind the best I can. So it's I guess no Windows Wednesday. It's we're on Linux, and I have gotten pretty close to how I stream on Windows. I'm still missing a few applications that I use in conjunction with it. But all in all, it's going pretty good. I'm pretty proud of the things I've built or found to use with Linux. Usually from Windows to Linux. If you're a StreamerBot user and use StreamerBot and SpeakerBot with your stream outfit, yes, you can get it to work on Linux. At least StreamerBot you can in Wine. I use the Bottles version. A lot of people don't like to use Bottle because it's basically a GNOME setup, and it is a flat pack though. And StreamerBot is probably 95% effective. Or equal to what it does on Windows. We can do all the actions that I have. I did have to take a couple different steps to get some voice changes in because in the Wayland environment on Linux, OBS will not open up custom browser docs or custom docs. Like your YouTube or Twitch chat, your Twitch windows and all that, you're not going to get those to work. Waiting for the Chromium Embedded Framework people to work in some stuff. I hear that a little bit closer. They're releasing a few things. I noticed there were a couple updates in this current OBS setup. OBS is now on 32.1. I think the Windows version might be on 32.2. Linux is always like a version behind. But, and I use I don't use a Flatpak, and I don't use the PPA that you get, the official OBS from OBS projects, which works on Ubuntu. Flatpak works on all systems. As long as you download and use the Flatpak from FlatHub, Like on Fedora and some others, they have their own version of the Flatpak and it's missing some things. So if you're going to install it on Linux and you're going to go with the Flatpak, go with the Flat Hub version. You can thank me later. But I use Easy Effects, which is helps to improve sound, but you can use it to change sound. I can go to.
Like it should be a baby voice right now, and if you have to double check it here, yep, it's switched to baby. So I'm just so cute.
Or the hacker or matrix voice.
Go back to the normal voice. That actually wasn't that hard to set up. Not like using a VSP. Then I have voice control working real well using Boss. And so like if I go computer, left monitor.
Here is the left monitor, boss.
It is pretty smooth. And then we're using a program called Speakaboo. SpeakerBot does not work on Linux, even in wine or bottle. Even if you were to get it installed and working, SpeakerBot and StreamerBot use the voice control programming in Windows to work. It doesn't have a standalone. So that's what's missing. So Speakaboo had just come out. I was looking to create a text-to-speech using Piper. And someone put it together. It's like a drop-in for SpeakerBot on Linux, where you can get text-to-speech working. And I can get, like, when I do, I have it tied up to my voice control. If I manually switch a scene, you won't hear anything. But if I verbally say computer main view,
Here is the main view, boss.
then Piper talks back to me, and it runs on. It has a bunch of voices inside, much quicker. The lag or the latency is it all works on your system. It doesn't reach out to the cloud. You can't use Google Voices or Azure or Amazon or any of those monster TTS. But if you use the Onyx, voices that are made with Onyx, so you're looking for like we'll say Bobby.Onyx or Bobby.Onyx JSON. You need 2 files. You just drop them in, and Speakaboo picks it up. Speakaboo, not Speakaboo. Speakaboo. And then you can use, it's a little bit different to set up. In StreamerBot on Linux, it uses the same SpeakerBot actions, but the difference is on SpeakerBot in Windows, you can have it do TTS for all messages. You can set that up. You can have it not read emotes, because the emotes, we see them as pictures, but chat sometimes will see it as words. This would read it all out on Speakaboo, on StreamerBot. SpeakerBot, you can stop that. And of course, you can use a lot of the AI voices out there on SpeakerBot. But I found, so the one you were hearing is what is it? Hold on. Vasco? I guess it's the voice from what's the movie with Matthew McConaughey where they're looking for a new planet to live on? Interplanetary or something like that. That's a computer, I guess, voice there. I found if you're a Doctor Who fan, I found a canine voice. And I've also got,
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Hello. Hey. Hello.
hello, Cody, Mr. Spyglass himself. Oh, people are gonna be sorry. No, Cody got himself a pair of nice meta glasses. The mic sounds muffled. Well, it's on my normal setup. All right, let me.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Hello, Barco. How are you? So, maybe I'm sitting too far away from the mic today? I don't know. But muffled, it's not, things shouldn't have changed. Let me double check. Properties. That's music effect source. Booming audio. Yeah, that one sound bite is a bit loud. Let's see. There's one way I can test it. Let me bring up quick. Because you're on YouTube, you know. Play my channel. You're listening to the stream with the glasses, but the audio with the audio. Testing 1 2. Oh, I do hear a little bit of a vibrating. Ooh. Testing 1 2 3. Ooh. What happened there? Well, there was a update with OBS yesterday. Oh wait, how does this sound now? Yeah, I can still hear the vibrating. For some reason, I had the equalizer on, 3-band equalizer on. And here I am. You can't hear me, but I'm listening to myself. I hate audio shit. What a boomer. What a boomer. What a boomer. I think that sounds a little bit better, huh? Yeah, I went to one microphone to another and all right. Well, thanks for pointing that out, Cody. No song playing. What the heck? There we go. Is it going to be a normal stream? Oh, and it's not picking up the line. What? Well, that... So let's see. Let me look at speaker back. So I'm hoping that a lot of things didn't get messed up. I was really looking to move maybe to flat packs. Problem that a lot of the plugins that I use are not in a flat pack. Notification error. That works. But I learned yesterday how to get most of the non-flat pack versions of the plugins to work. You gotta, if you're using flat pack OBS and you've installed some plugins that were not for flat pack, you just have to create folders in the plugin folder with a specific name. You heard the notification sound and looked at your work computer. Gotcha, Cody. And you think of Flatpak as a portable, whereas at least for me on Arch on Endeavor OS, it installs the plugin stuff all over the place. On Ubuntu, it's a little bit more straightforward, but in the Flatpak, you need not only the .so file, so you need the data and bin file in that same. It's a little bit complicated, but I was using Gemini to help me move stuff over. Yeah, I'm on Endeavor. I've been on Endeavor for a while. Actually, I've kind of been on Endeavor for over a year, but now it's my main system because I gave up Pop Cosmic right now because the Cosmic Desktop's not ready. So I'm on GNOME, the GNOME desktop on Endeavor. Okay, let's see. Where's Magic 8 Ball? Why is that putting double? But I'm very pleased with it. Yeah, after all these years in that, I mean, Eric did so much. Eric Dubois. Okay, let's see. Where is? Oh, I thought I set this up in the right spot. Come on. I'm lucky I can click a mouse these days. Okay. So let's rerun Cody's question. Was it like, will this be a normal stream? I can't type.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hello, Thailand.
Oh, I grabbed the wrong file. And I noticed my 8-ball isn't shaking right. I know I had problems with the scale to sound. That's right. It's magic 8-ball text. But why was it running twice? Endeavor at least appears to improve incrementally. In the back, what the? Breaking news, everything is broken and Boomer tries to fix it. No news here. Move along, move along. Fake news, just horrible news. That's what I gotta look at. So the scale to sound wasn't working right in Linux, the plugin. So it's not showing the 8-ball when it's shaking. So I tried to copy and move things over from my regular setup into a flat pack setup because I wanted something maybe a little bit more stable. Because we get a little tired of, the great thing about the AUR is people make packages out of everything that's out there. And the worst thing about the AUR is they make packages out of everything out there. And getting, someone to package, the original plugin developer didn't make the plugins or didn't package them up for the AUR. Someone else is doing that. And you got to wait for that person to update it and that. So I was going to start learning how to maybe do my own packages. So Barco's been working on getting Nix OS, Nix Home Manager, Nix Flakes going on one system. Does it flake out on you? You think a reason AUR quality is going down because of Nix? Why? Because people are making stuff for Nix now? Ah, okay. Well, it just takes it does take a few days. It is one of the good things is if you do reach out to that person that packaged it in the AUR, they usually fix it in a day or two. So a majority of the plugins that you can get for OBS from the AUR are packaged by Titan 642, who also helps maintain. He's got his own OBS package, and he works in the OBS forum. So the AUR version is not officially an official package, but they will support it in the Linux OBS forum on Discord because he's in there. And then, like any of the packages, like one of his packages, I wanted to update it, wouldn't update it. I told him about it, and he fixed it. He fixed it in like about an hour. And then it took a little bit for it to update, and then within a couple hours, I was able to update it in that. Someone had left a message for the finite singularities retro plugin that someone else had packaged, and they had problems with that. And there was an update, and the package wouldn't update. And I used that retro plugin for my matrix and all that, and certain things weren't working on it. Nix has surpassed AUR in the number and quality of packages. I've been impressed at how many packages available that just work on Nix. But if you go to the OBS forum and there's something wrong with OBS and it's in Nix, they'll tell you to reach out to Nix or the developer that the person that packaged it and that. Okay, so let me. Computer, left monitor.
Here is the left monitor, boss.
Okay. Now there was an update on the scale to sound plugin. So let's see if I can get that working again. Because it's what I use to shake the picture, the 8-ball picture. Where's my scene here? Okay. Magic 8-ball. There's the text. There's which image is that? Okay, that's not showing because of so if I turn this off, the image will show back up. Yeah, there's something wrong with this plugin still. That the picture should show all the time like that. I mean, I can go without it, but then it doesn't, it doesn't shake right. Let's see if, maybe, oh, you know what? It's something with these, but I don't know. Do I need those? Maybe that's it. Let's see what happens if we run the 8-ball again. Will Steve ever get quality right? Oh, it is certain. All right, well, it doesn't shake. At least the 8-ball will come out. But why is it running the command twice? Oh, because I'm putting it in both. It's going both. The command's going both to Twitch and YouTube. So that's why. Okay. So I'll have to, because the scale to sound works over in Windows. It works in Windows. Computer main view.
Here is the main view, boss.
And then, oh, I have Marco. I have a special speaker now for TTS. He's very special, and right now he's not charging me anything.
Steve's very own says hi. This is Alan.
On my TTS, I have an Alan voice. But I've been pretty pleased with what I've got working. Yes, I have used, Alan Pope. When they had that one Mycroft project going. No, actually, a developer kind of kind of reverse engineered speaker bot, but basically she calls it Speakaboo. and it uses the WebSocket server and the UDP server. Both you could connect to StreamerBot, and so this is my TTS. It uses Piper as a TTS. I was just getting ready to. I was working with my AI partners, and we were starting to build a Piper TTS that I can use with my stream. And Gemini said, "Well, did you know about Speakaboo?" It had just kind of come out.
Lamus says, what are beans?
There you go. Him and his beans. So he lent his voice to that Mycroft project. So now it's up there in the clouds. So this is Speakaboo, and you set up aliases just like SpeakerBot in Windows. Again, it doesn't filter out text and all that. I could build a filter in StreamerBot for that if needed. But now I got a TTS working and voice active, like when I change scenes, I have voice activation. But these are the voices I got so far. And there's more in here. Basically, it uses the Piper system, and it's got all these languages in here that you can use, these speaker languages in that. But the only two English ones are Great Britain and United States. But Alan's in there. You got all these other voices that work pretty well. And then for the English voices, you can use maybe some of these other ones, but it doesn't really well. It does it really well in their language. There's Mycroft What Are Beans video, yeah. And then if you add, if Piper uses like the .onyx files, voice trained, and basically you need T. So you need a .onyx and a .onyx.json file. And if you can find those, that'll work here. I use 3 AI Alexa, Home, Gemini on the phone, and Meta in the glasses. And then here's Bobby.
This is a test message.
That's not too bad. These are the ones that I got installed. So that's the Allen one. Onyx is what to deploy AI LLM. Yeah, it's language models, and Piper. That's what Piper uses. Onyx files, voice trained files to use. Here's an Amy.
This is a test message.
Bobby, a Carl.
This is a test message.
There's a U.S. female.
This is a test message.
Here's Norman. The application he has is called Piper. Well, it's Speakaboo.
This is a test message.
Is built with Piper in it. Carl, yeah, Carl. I found a Picard.
This is a test message.
Here's K9 from Doctor Who.
This is a test message.
Kronk.
This is a test message.
And then Vasco is the computer one from Interstellar.
This is a test message.
So you create aliases just like in it, but yeah, it uses Piper to work with this. It's a very simple, easy drop-in. If you're used to using SpeakerBot on Linux on Windows with your streamer bot, then you can use Speakaboo. I didn't have to build anything. And then my voice control, I created one. It's with Vosk. Cool thing about Vosk is it's cross-platform. So I don't know how difficult it would be for the developer of StreamerBot to change out from the Windows, but Vosk works pretty well. Cool thing about this, so you can't use any app. You can't hook up Google. You can't hook up Monster TTS. You can't hook up Azure, Amazon, any of those nice voices that you get at 11IO. You can't use any of that, but this is on your system. You download the language models, and they're not very big. So the largest is it's under 110 megabytes, and it's easy to delete.
Lama says, I'm sorry, Steve. I'm afraid I can't do that.
You can't do what? Sorry, Alan, I got you now. So you can uninstall the voices, and actually, if the manual here doesn't work, but I did it a different way, and then they'll show up in the settings here. I don't have to install them. If I wanted to remove them, I got to delete them out of the file that they're in. And then you can play with, this pitch speed and all that a little bit if you want to change the voice up that way. So this is to work alongside, because it uses the same HTTP WebSockets, actually the same WebSocket server that SpeakerBot does. So StreamerBot on Linux thinks that this is SpeakerBot, basically. So this gave me a TTS to work with. Computer main view. And then
here is the main view, boss.
And then with this, I have it able to speak back to me when I do these verbal changes. But in my script for Vosk, my wake word is computer. And then I had to change all my actions, my scenes to more simplified names to make it easier for this to pick up. But I very seldom have to repeat myself. So all this is on the system. It's no going to the cloud. It's private. It's not going to any server outside of your own. So that's what I got working on Linux to give me what I got on Windows. But yeah, Speakaboo is with Piper. Here, let me. Yeah, small language models deployed using Onyx, great at a single dedicated task. Perfect for what I need. Now I don't have to go out. I mean, I found a few more voice files with the Onyx and that I could just add to this. So here's the GitHub. The link for it. Speakaboo is an offline text-to-speech program that communicates using the SpeakerBot API. It uses a customized version of Piper as a text-to-speech engine. It is intended to be controlled by external programs like StreamerBot. This was designed because on Linux, while SpeakerBot launches with the correct library, SAPI 5 doesn't work because SpeakerBot uses Windows stuff. But it also uses the cloud, like Azure and cloud, Google Cloud, TTS. Yeah, you can get I was looking at some of the Hugging Face and that. So already, I got better voices. I over on my Windows setup, I found a program that takes. So you got your SAPI 5 voices, but then on like a Windows 11, you have your Azure voices. And you can download those to Windows 11, and then this program will convert them to SAPI 5 and add them to your SAPI 5 setup. So like in SpeakerBot, now you have more SAPI 5s that are better than if you've heard Zira and David. They're horrible. Several of them are a little more natural doing it that way. But this works really well. So requirements, Python, use Poetry. Now, I didn't install it this way. Raspberry Piper voices too. And because I'm on Endeavor, like in Arch, it doesn't like a lot of different Pythons being added to it. So basically, I just created a folder and installed the Python dependencies in there and use I use Venv to set it up. Now, I have an auto script going that launches all my programs now. But you need to launch it in this folder if you do it manually. Virtual environment. Okay, thank you. I'm a geeky guy, but I'm not that kind of a geeky guy. But that way, if I ever wanted to get rid of it, I can just basically delete the folder and not have to worry about extra stuff on my system. So I have a virtual environment for Speakaboo. And then I have a virtual environment for where are you? Okay, I start making a TTS here. Oh, for voice control. So I have the same thing. I got Vosk installed in here. It's a Vosk virtual environment. So that way, if I ever come up with something else, I'll tell you, Marco, I am not, I've used a lot of bash scripts for stuff, but I've never created any, and I didn't know where to go. So I started asking ChatGPT what to do. Now, it's not 100%. I would have to remind it that I'm on Arch, because sometimes it would give me an Ubuntu install process. I tried Perplexity, and then now I'm kind of currently mostly using Gemini to help me build this stuff. So it's taken me a little bit, but Perplexity is good for deep research, yeah, but they only allow you so much free requests before it doesn't use the I think it gives you like 3 searches or something. But they're also the most expensive. They have like $20 a month for the Pro. I'm like, I'm not using you enough for that.
Steve, Someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Lord Dabagrund? Lord Dabagrund? Welcome to the stream. What brings you here today? Thanks for stopping in. I hope things are going well. So, I would definitely have a much easier experience with some of my stuff, especially with the plugins and that, if I was on an Ubuntu-based system. But I don't have a super powerful system, but I have a relatively modern system. And Ubuntu just takes I'd rather go with a rolling release and have the nicer stuff. You were just looking for a chill Linux stream? Well, this is about as chill as you can get because it's pretty cold, man. I'm streaming on Linux right now. I'm on Endeavor OS, and I have streamed on Linux for about 6 years. I used to do some Linux content. Never really took off, but I did it. You like Tuxedo OS for the Debian? I looked at Tuxedo OS. I just saw that it had some extra tools in it for their Tuxedo computers. I still like Pop. Because I don't want to go with any other, a single developer or anything like that. But as much as I like Pop Cosmic, it's not. Especially in the streaming realm with OBS, it was giving me lots of problems. Pop OS is great. Tuxedo is lighter weight. But I didn't want a Debian-based system. Debian is great for some things, but not for doing what I do. I'm sure I could work a way around it. I know if Ven over at the Linux gamer group or whatever can do it, then anybody can. Tuxedo is Ubuntu. You just say Debian Ubuntu. Gotcha. As that's what it all is under the hood. Okay. But I had started streaming on I had been streaming on Windows for the last year now. And I love how I can just get anything that I want that will work. Don't have to worry about the Wayland stuff. Don't have to worry about some workarounds. I don't have a problem with Windows 11. I know everybody kind of bitches about it. I understand about Microsoft and all that. But when it comes down to it, Windows is my production machine. That's what my OBS and my main system is on. But I don't use Windows daily. I use Linux daily. I do. Windows is just my streaming. But between the VSTs and StreamerBot and SpeakerBot and all these other programs that I can get for streaming to work well. But I decided, okay, I'm back on Endeavor OS. I left Pop OS. Cosmic just kind of shit the bed on me, and that was it. After doing all the testing from Alpha 7 on, it finally went with a full version, and it kind of updated, kind of screwed things up. But there was also issues with Windows now because they're also using Rust, and I heard there's a problem with Rust, NVIDIA, and Wayland. Docs and that wouldn't work right, and all that. I was like, nah, although Ubuntu is so much easier to install plugins with, and a lot of the OBS plugin creators are making plugins for Linux too, Mac, Linux, and Windows. So very few now just release it for Windows. but I got a script that auto starts all my programs. Then Alan will tell me when they're all loaded. But I just got tired of some of the workarounds. I got tired of, I don't use a lot of custom docs. I don't need them. But like the VSTs for voice changes, you can't even get those windows to open until Ceph, the Chromium Embedded Framework, gets Wayland worked into it completely to where custom docs work, which then will mean that the windows, because you can install a VST, but you can't open the window to control the VST. OBS will either crash or it just doesn't work. Now, I don't use a lot of voice changes, but for a couple of my scenes, I think they're kind of needed. So I've done a lot of scripting. Got something like Vosk on there to do voice control. With Vosk, I have OBS CMD installed. So that's, sends the commands, you verbally talk the commands and then the script sends it to OBS. And that's what changes the windows or the scenes. Which makes up for what I'm doing on Windows and that. So it's been a little bit of a harder ride for me, but I actually am enjoying it and have had fun setting this stuff up. Sorry, I need to. It's been a rough week. We had I was just personally asked not to talk about it much, but we had a death in the family, and it's been a long week. I'm tired. Not my immediate family, but it was someone close to us. So I have to keep an eye on my texts and that for messages. But I started seeing more and more in the OBS forum on the Linux side, people coming over to Linux for the first time, installing God knows what, OBS not working, and they're using Nix, they're using Hyperlin and all that, and there's a little extra steps that you got to take. Their question would be, why are you using those? Well, I'm up for a challenge, but yet they can't get anything to work. I'm kind of up for a challenge. I'm happy that I got a lot of this stuff working. I got some other ideas that I want to implement. But like I said, I started looking at moving over to Flatpaks again. Worked on a script that will find and transfer over the plugins from the Arch side that I have installed over and create them and bundle them for the Flatpak. But there's 4 plugins that I couldn't get to work. Believe it or not, because I have 31 plugins on Linux, 33 on Windows that I use. I could probably do away with 4 of them easily. But there's a couple, and we were down to 4 that we couldn't move over. And it had to deal with, mainly Qt. I think OBS is using Qt6, and at least the error from what the error message in that was giving me, and Endeavor's on Qt10. Am I right there? And again, that's the nerdy stuff that, as a Linux user, I don't really get into. I normally don't have to pay attention to that. And the tuna plugin, which I use for my music here, which if you're on YouTube, you're not hearing any music. Gotta be on Twitch, sorry. Couldn't get the tuna player over. The source copy. Now, probably if I was on Ubuntu or something like that and decided to go from the PPA to the flat pack, there's no QT10. What was what was Gemini telling me yesterday? QT, okay. Let's see. Oh, my bad. So, not QT10, QT 6.10. So yeah, it was the minor version conflicts that was happening. Because as cool and good as the finding stuff in the AUR, having them updated can sometimes take a while.
Thank you all for stopping by.
I think I have no feeling in my right thumb. Really, I had surgery, hasn't helped yet. And I'll be sitting here, I don't realize I hit the back button. I don't know why the back button would take me down to my goodbye scene. Because that will normally lead me to signing off. That was stupid. So yeah, it was some minor version conflicts that was happening, plus the way that Arch installs its plugins. They don't keep it all set, like I don't know why, but it installs a lot of the stuff globally. That's what it was. But yeah, Flatpak would be great if I got more plugins. Like I said, I use 31 plugins that I need for my actions in that. There we go. Gotta get a refresh button. I gotta add to my deck to refresh that. So, but anyway, I'm kind of proud with what I've done. I know for some out there it would be an easy step to do, but I'm not a. I can. Even with HTML and CSS, I use a lot of that. Like my music player here is made out of HTML. My lower third, upper third in this case is HTML. Got a couple of things created with HTML. and I can decode them pretty well and make it my own. I'll go to CodePen. Ever go to CodePen.io? They have some great stuff out there that I've used for my streams. And the same, I can't write a Python script myself to save my life, but I can figure out where something was going wrong. But anyway, so what kind of what Linux do you use, Lord? And how long have you been in Linux? I've been using Linux for 11 years now. It'll be 11 years in May. And I had been off Windows for like about 5 years. I didn't use Windows at all for like 5 years I think I stopped really using it in 2017 and just picked it up about a year and a half ago again. I just got tired of the workarounds. Just Vanilla Arch, been daily driving it for a year and a half. Yeah, I mentioned on a stream that I was using, Endeavor OS and had a great experience. I'm like, it's just Vanilla Arch. But I think it's a little bit more than that. I think they do pretty well. I'm okay with vanilla because then I put some chocolate sauce on it and some nuts and kernels and some whipped cream. What desktop do you like? I'm a GNOME user. I like GNOME. I can't get into KDE. I had gone with the KDE version of Endeavor at first, but it just didn't suit me. Never used GNOME. Yeah, it's not for everybody at first. I know when I first got into Linux, I really did not like GNOME. I tried it out. I couldn't figure it out. It was different. I was an XFCE user. But as I got used to customizing and doing things a certain way, I realized that I was going my desktop was very GNOME-like in the way I had my setup in that when I finally did figure out and use GNOME, I was at home with it and I use it all the time. Oh, but you got to use extensions. Yeah, so they're not built in. Extension Manager is a great thing. Majority of the extensions that I use are the more popular ones, so they're kept up. I've never had an extension break on me. Cody likes GNOME because it doesn't look like Windows, but he likes Plasma because of the customization and what it offers. If you were talking about Peppermint, technically you were using LXDE modified. Yeah, well, it had LXDE, but it had XFCE. It had there were only 2 parts of LXDE left in Peppermint at the point of Peppermint 10. And that was LX Sessions and LX some other. So only 2 parts of LXDE that were still left in Peppermint when Mark came out with Peppermint 10. I don't know if you knew that, but Peppermint was such a Frankenstein distribution, but it just worked. Now I have XFCE on 2 laptops. Not my choice these days. Because you can customize, you can put in themes in that, but it still looks old. Whereas GNOME looks so modern. And to a point, a KDE is modern. KDE is what Windows would wish to be. So now Windows has said that they've heard the users and that they will fix their issues with Windows and make it more usable again. We shall see. For what I use it for, I have no problems with it. None whatsoever. Because again, I'm either streaming when I'm at it or I'm making stuff for my stream. That's it. I mean, if I'm doing that, I might be, watching some videos or something like that, but my daily driver is still Linux. So let's see. You started using Hyperblend about 2 months ago, but considering moving back to the DWM. Yeah, you find something that you like and you just stick with it. I just got tired in the Linux community of all the hatred towards Windows and all that. I'm like, or you have that hatred towards Microsoft, that's fine. But then attacking people that if they used it and they were in the stream and telling them they were going to be banned, and I know most of the time it was joking, ha ha ha. Oh, Windows ban. It just gets tiring, After 11 years, I said, I'm done with that. I don't want anything to do with that. You come to my stream, you use Windows, you use Mac, you use Linux, and you use any flavor of Linux. That's fine. If you are happy with what you use it. But I even have my wife on Endeavor. My wife is using Arch. I gave her that. She knows no different. She okay, I get the browser here. Yep. My files are here. Yep. I could do Bluetooth. Yep. Okay. I'm good. And she is fine and it works out. I just keep it updated for her and she's good to go. Excuse me. So and in most cases, there's a lot of programs that will work fine on Linux and all that. They're cross platform. I use OpenShot as my video editor and that, my video creator. I know it's that I don't need Caden Live. And it's cross platform. It works on Linux and Windows. So I have it on Windows too. LibreOffice, GIMP. I'm happy with GIMP. It works for what I use it for. God, I used GIMP back in the Windows days before I went to Linux. I discovered GIMP in the beginning, and that was my go-to because it was free. And all the scripts you were able, like their version of plugins or scripts, or there were some really good ones at the time. There was a plugin. It was called the National Geographic plugin that I use on photos. That would make the photo look like out of a National Geographic magazine. Basically, a script running all the different stuff to enhance it, and that and it worked pretty well. I liked that. The only thing I don't like about Linux is like a lot of the hatred that's out there. The bullshit. Well, the privacy. I don't care how private you make your system. You may be more private than Windows, but then you are still online. And privacy is kind of out the window. But yeah, grip, especially the 3.0, and then they just had an update where now more what you call it, where the different layers, they're working the non-destructive layers in there, like Photoshop. I mean, if I make stuff, it's for my stream. I don't do a lot of photo editing these days so much in GIMP. But it's stuff for my stream that I make and that. But it's still a pretty decent software. There are people get pissed off because of the name, but it is what it is. But I thought about keeping things simple, I was told to try Arch, try Endeavor because of the rolling release, the updates, for my hardware and all that. And it was working fine. But there's still, like Ubuntu just makes it so much easier. But updates, they got good updates, but the hardware update is not as advanced as, say, on Arch, which could be good and bad, right? But OBS on Ubuntu is your closest you get to a Windows experience with all the plugins and that, because most of the plugins are made for an Ubuntu-based system. They're, either in a zip file that you just put into place, or they're got a .deb install. And I would recommend those that are looking to come to Linux from Windows for streaming, and that would start in that area. But you do what's great. I mean, I'm not going to tell you yes. I'm not going to tell you no. There's going to be shit that I don't know. I don't know shit about Hyperland. I don't know shit about Nix. Each day I know a little bit more about Arch. But Endeavor has made it so easy. And their updater is pretty nice. Majority of my software is Flatpaks. The Flat Hub on GNOME. Now I got the Bazaar. I got the store Bazaar, which is a Flat Hub store. OBS and things that I use with OBS, the plugins and all that, are pretty much from the AUR. I've never compiled software on my own. I followed scripts and all that. I may start doing that. Then I'm responsible for keeping those plugins updated for myself. But yeah, excuse me if I'm getting tired here. Like I said, we got a lot going on, and I haven't slept pretty well, but I wanted to just show off my work. So if you're watching me stream, if you see the purple, so that's for Endeavor purple. That's the purple that's in Endeavor. And then when I'm on Windows, it's a blue, almost like a Windows blue. So you'd see blue replaced with the where the purple is. That's how you can tell if I'm on Linux or Windows. But the developer of StreamerBot, you know, his plan, his future plan, I don't know how quickly it is. He's a one-man show. He did a big update on StreamerBot to start preparing. He wants to make a native app for Linux and for Mac. And that would be cool. That would take it a little bit closer, because over it, I use StreamerBot in bottles, and I get about 95% functionality. There's a multi-chat function that's in StreamerBot, but it's basically the web. They have a web page for picking up chat. So when I'm looking at the chat, I'm using the StreamerBot web page that has the chats on it that connects to, I have it linked to my StreamerBot. So I can do things like, I can highlight messages. Like this. Or are you not working now? What? Oh, that's reply. Why isn't my highlights working? I created a highlighter. It was working the other day. No, I don't want to reply. Why isn't my highlighter working? What happened? This is what It, All right, so it looks like they did an update. So global quick actions are displayed in the bottom left of the chat window, which is showing up here. Or do I have to general quick actions? Ah, it's like great. But I had a bunch of quick actions already set up. Oops. Go, go. All right, was I putting it in the wrong spot? Okay. There it is. Dummy, I was putting it in the wrong spot, so. But I had them in here and I don't know why they disappeared. So I do a highlight, the message, there we go. Why did they disappear? And that makes sense, putting a highlight on a message. So it works Twitch and YouTube. All right. All right, figured that one out. That was stupid, but why did... I'll delete the global action. I don't need it there. So it's usually the message. Okay. All right, got that figured out. That works now. Looks like they changed some things. So, but so this OBS I don't have a chat dock or that. I don't need it because I got the window up here because I got 3 monitors, so I'm good there. So we don't have to do that. The other thing that doesn't work in StreamerBot, sorry, this was, talking about what didn't work in StreamerBot. On Linux, in wine or bottles, I can't get, like if I wanted to fix any, because it uses C#, the text window for that to do any editing it opens and it comes up blank too. That doesn't work.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
Hans, how you doing, Hans? So you're swimming with the Norway fishes and that. How are you doing, buddy? Computer main view.
Here is the main view, boss.
So I'm just rambling on here. It's been a rough week, Hans. And this might be my only streaming for the week. Because we have a wake and a funeral to go to this week. So how you doing? What's new with you? How's the lovely country of Norway doing? What have you been up to? And I'm waiting for my son to tell me. Do you hate when you buy something and then you get nagged like crazy to do a review? Hey, I had to buy a suit because I haven't worn a suit in years, especially since retiring. And I had to buy a suit. And the clothing place I bought it from now has sent me 3 emails, and the salesperson was nice and very helpful and all that. I couldn't believe though. I spent about $600 on a new suit, shirt. I have plenty of ties. You still have to buy the frickin' bag to put it in. They can't give you a $3 bag. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do well. Gas prices going up in Norway too. Yeah, it's up $1 a gallon here from what it was. I know it's higher. I know Andy over in Germany had said that it was, because you guys do by the liter. But in Germany, it was probably what would be like $8 a gallon here. Looking crazy. So yeah, it took me an extra $14 to fill up my tank. Hey, let's hear it for America. Woohoo. But unfortunately, Hans, I'm going to have to sign off. My son's going to be calling me to pick him up. He's got multiple karate classes tonight, so I have to Uber him around. Although I think my wife will be home. I think I might do a small stream tonight. Tonight for me, in about 2 hours. I won't be able to stream tomorrow. We have a wake to go to, and then a funeral on Friday. So I will be streaming again until Sunday, if it works out. Oh, excuse me. I'm tired. It's been a big, a long, rough week for us. So I might do some geo-guessing tonight. I won't be able to do it tomorrow. So unfortunately, I'm gonna sign off now. But I appreciate you stopping by. Computer, let's say goodbye. Computer, time to say goodbye. Helps when I get the words right.
Stopping by.
Half the family is from the Philippines. They're currently panicking over there in the Philippines because there's almost no more gas. Oh, jeepers. Yeah. I don't know. We'll talk about that. But anyway, let me thank Kodiak Alamer, Barco, Res1 Coder, Lord of Grund, and Hans for stopping by today. Please take care. Please take care of yourselves. Love your family. Piss off and flip off the United States. We deserve it. Oh my. But if you don't see me later on, I'll be on Sunday in the morning. So you guys take care. Thanks for stopping by. Be good.